Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we will be presenting our group assignment on the topic Social Security Protection under the Employees Social Security Act 1969, or better known as SOCSO. This law is very important because it helps protect workers in Malaysia when they face accident, injuries or health problems related to their job. Our presentation will cover the purpose of the Act, who is covered under it, what employee must do, the type of benefit offered, and how effective the law has been in helping workers. Our presentation will cover the purpose of the Act, who is covered under it, what employee must do, the type of benefit offered, and how effective the law has been in helping workers. Let's begin with the purpose. The Employees Social Security Act was introduced by the Malaysian government to ensure that workers, especially in the private sector, are protected through a social safety net. This law provides financial assistance and social security coverage to employees who suffer from work-related accident, occupational disease, disability, whether due to work or not, and even deaths caused by employment-related incident. The aim is to reduce the burden on workers and their family during difficult time. It ensures that if a worker gets injured or becomes permanently disabled, they still receive monthly income or compensation. In the unfortunate case of death, their dependents such as spouse, children or parents will receive benefit to continue their life with some financial support. This protection is managed by SOCSO, or the Social Security Organisation, which not only provide compensation but also support workers through rehabilitation service. One of SOCSO key effort is the Return to Work program, which help injured workers recover and return to their job as soon as possible. Overall, the purpose of this law is to protect employee welfare, ensure financial security, and promote a stable and responsible society where workers are not left behind during emergencies. Now, let's move on the second part, who is covered under this law. The Employees Social Security Act mainly applies to private sector employees earning HRM582 per month or below. But even if an employee earns more than 4,000, they are still required to be covered under SOCSO. This means employee must continue to make contribution based on the wage ceiling set by SOCSO. The category of employer covered include full-time worker, part-time employees, temporary staff, contract worker, and probationary worker. Both Malaysian citizen and certain category of foreign worker, especially those in sector like manufacturing, agriculture and construction, are protected under this law. However, not everyone is included. Among the group that are not covered under the SSA are domestic worker such as housemaid, personal driver and gardener, as well as government employees who are covered under different pension system. Additionally, self-employed individuals are not automatically covered unless they voluntarily register under a separate SOCSO scheme. In recent years, SOCSO has made effort to expand coverage to more people, including gig economy worker, e-hailing driver, and even housewife. Through new law like the Self-Employment Social Security Act 2017 and the Housewife Social Security Scheme. However, these are not part of the original 1969 Act.
I will now explain the legal obligation of employees under the Employees Social Security Act 1969, which is managed by SOCSO. This law ensures that employers take responsibility to protect the welfare of their employees through proper social security coverage. Firstly, employers must register their business with SOCSO within 30 days after hiring the first employee. Failing to do so is an offence under the Act. Secondly, all employees must also be registered with SOCSO, regardless of whether they are full-time, part-time or contract worker. Some categories of foreign worker are also covered. Next, employer must deduct the employee's contribution from their monthly wages and add the employer's portion. The exact percentage depends on the employee's wages and the type of protection scheme. For example, under the Employment Injury Scheme and Invalidity Scheme, employer and employees contribute a set percentage every month, which goes directly to SOSO. Apart from contribution, employers have a legal duty to report any workplace accident, injuries, death, or occupational disease. This incident must be reported to SOSO immediately or within 48 hours at the latest. Lastly, employers are required to keep accurate record of their employees' wages, contribution, and all related documents. This record must be available for SOSO inspection when requested. Failure to follow this obligation can result in legal penalties, including a fine of up to 10,000 ringgit or imprisonment for up to 2 years or both. Therefore, by following this legal requirement, employers have ensured their workers are protected and they also avoid facing legal consequences.
So, let's talk about types of social security benefits provided by SOSO. The first one is the Employment Injury Scheme or EIS. Whether you are working with heavy machinery, traveling for a meeting, or exposed to hazardous substances on the job, the EIS has your back. So, what's covered under this scheme? The first one is accidents while performing duties, for example, injuring your hand while operating a machine. The second one is accidents during work-related travel, including commuting to and from work, as long as specific conditions are met. The last but not least is occupational diseases such as hearing loss due to the constant exposure to loud environment or respiratory problems caused by chemical fuel. These incidents can disrupt life, but SOSO is here to ease that burden. So, here's what the Employment Injury Scheme offers. The first one is medical benefits. It covers treatment at SOSO clinic or government hospitals. This includes consultation, medication, surgeries, and hospitalization. The second one is temporary disablement benefit, where if you are temporarily unable to work due to your injury, you will receive a daily allowance to replace your income during your medical leave. The next one is permanent disablement benefit. In case of lasting injuries or disabilities, you will be compensated based on the severity and impact on your ability to work. The next one is dependence benefit. If an employee tragically lost their life due to a work-related cause, the family, such as spouse, children, or dependent parents, will receive ongoing financial support. The next one is funeral benefit. It gives help to ease the financial stress of final arrangement. It also provides a one-time payment towards burial expenses. Last but not least, it gives rehabilitation service to return to work program. SOSO also provides access to physical and vocational rehabilitation, including counseling and job replacement, so workers can regain their independences and livelihood. This scheme reflects SOSO's commitment to helping workers recover, reintegrate, and move forward with dignity. The second scheme is the Invalidity Pension Scheme. Unlike the Employment Injury Scheme, this one protects employees who suffer from permanent incapacity or death that is not caused by work. Life can change due to illness, chronic health condition, or unforeseen health problems that make it impossible to continue working. The invalidity scheme steps in when your ability to earn a living is permanently affected, even if it's not due to your job. So the key benefits include invalidity pension, where a monthly income paid to the employees who has been certified as permanently incapacitated before the reaching age 60. The second one is invalidity grant. If the employee does not meet the contribution criteria to qualify for the pension, a lump sum payment is given instead. The next one is survivor's pension. In the unfortunate event of the employee's death, Even if unrelated to work, dependents such as spouses, children, and parents may receive a monthly pension. And last but not least, constant attendance allowance for those who require constant personal care due to a severe health condition. This allowance help cover caregiving expenses.
Now, I will share an analysis of how effective this law has been in protecting employees in Malaysia. The Employee Social Security Act 1969 plays a major role in ensuring employees are financially protected if they face accident, disease, disability, or even death. Firstly, one of the main strengths is that this law provides comprehensive protection. It covers a wide range of risks, including workplace accident, commuting accident, occupational disease, invalidity, and dependent benefit for families. Secondly, SOSO offer financial assistance through various benefits like medical treatment, compensation for temporary or permanent disability, and pension for dependent if the worker pass away. Furthermore, SOSO also run rehabilitation program and the return to work program, which help injured employees recover and get back to employment as soon as possible. In terms of real data, for the year 2023, SOSO paid out over 4.3 billion ringgit in benefit to employees and their families. Around 500,000 claims were processed, and more than 30,000 injured workers successfully returned to work through rehabilitation program. This figure show that the Act has been effective in providing financial and social protection to employees. However, there are still challenges. First challenge is many informal sector workers and gig economy workers, like e-hailing drivers, are still not fully covered. Second, awareness about SOSO, especially among small business and rural communities, is still low. Third, enforcement of employer compliance is still an area that needs continuous improvement. In conclusion, while the Act has achieved its purpose in protecting many employees, more efforts are needed to expand coverage, educate the public, and ensure stricter enforcement.